Hey guys, Cloyd here from BowHunterPlanet's Hunt Series. Today I'm going to talk with you about two things that are going on all over the Midwest right now. First, we're going to go ahead, we're going to set in our HHA sight. We got the Optimizer on there. We're going to get that bow dialed in, fine-tuned, and ready to go. Secondly, I'm going to show you what we did this past weekend out on our property to get things ready, make that final preparations and adjustments so that everything's set up and ready to go come October 1st here in Michigan. We're going to head back into the barn right now, and we'll get started on that HHA and get that bow shooting just the way we want it. Well, for those of you that already shoot an HHA, you know just how easy it is to sight one of these in, but for those of you who don't shoot one or maybe have thought about it but didn't want to make the move, I never shot a one-pin sight until I started working with Hunt Series. I was a little pessimistic about it, but I'll be honest, I shot it last year for the first time and loved it, and I'm sighting it in again this year. These are great sights. This is even more of the basic one. The Kingpin's got a big dial, even easier to use, but this sight it's amazingly easy to set. It comes with the preset setup strip with numbers on it that you use. You need to sight in at 20 yards and 40 yards, and all this is explained in remarkable detail in the instructions. I'm not a smart man, and I have no trouble following it, so if I can do it, anyone can do it, and I promise you will not be confused or have any issues with it. It is super easy. Like I said, you can either use 60 and 20 yards or 40 and 20 yards. I do 40 and 20 just because it's pretty easy to sight in at 20, relatively easy to sight in at 40. Once you sight in at those two distances, using your preset tape, you slide up and down. There's numbers marked on here. They're not yardage numbers, they're just numbers. Once you have a 40-yard mark and a 20-yard mark, you simply subtract those two numbers, you reference a chart. They send you preset yardage strips. Once you've made your subtraction of your 40 and your 20 number, it tells you which strip to use. You stick it on there, boom, you're set at 20, you're set at 40, and every other yardage on the strip is dialed in. It's just that easy. Shouldn't take long. We'll get to it right now. I think we're pretty good. I just shot a couple groups here at 40 and seems pretty good. My left and right's a little off, but again, that's on me. The up and down seem pretty good. So I'm set right now at looks like about 28 on my sight end tape here. You can see the pins right here. That correlates to number 28. So we'll step inside here. I'll grab that conversion chart and we'll do the little math, and we'll get the right yardage strip on there, and we'll be all set. We're all sighted in now at 40 and at 20. So to get the right yardage strip for my sight, you have to take the mark I was at while shooting 40, which on my sight end strip was 28, and the mark I was at while shooting 20, which was 17.5. You'll subtract that 17.5 from the 28. That answer will tell you what yardage strip to use. I have the chart here on my phone. It also comes with the strips. Very easy, just subtract those two numbers, and for me, that put me sight in tape number 24, which is right on here. So I'm going to peel that off, and I'll take off the sight in strip, put this in its place, making sure to keep my pin set 40 right on 40, so I know exactly where 40 is, and once I set this up, everything else should fall into place. Alright, so just like that, this bow is now set up at 20, 40, and everything out to 80, 30, 40, 50, 60, all the way up. Nothing to it, just like that. It's amazing. HHA really has a nice setup here. It's super easy to use, super easy to sight in. Doesn't take long at all. Modern bows like this Darton, you can sight in at 20 in no time. 40 isn't difficult. Once you do that, you're good to go. You're locked in, you're set. There's nothing to it. Like I said, I was a pessimist at first with these single pin sights. This is my second season with it, and I gotta tell you, I don't see any reason not to shoot them. If you don't already shoot an HHA, I would recommend checking them out. It's definitely worth a look, and you won't be disappointed if you choose to use one. I promise you that. Well guys, with the HHA sighted in, ready to go, I'm going to head in and check out some trail cam footage. I told you yesterday I was out getting things set up for September. So one of the things we did yesterday was check trail cameras. We also jumped on the tractor, got our plots ready to do some last seeding. We're getting ready for September here. Come on, we'll take a look at these trail cam pictures. Well, we're inside now taking a look at these trail camera pictures we just pulled the other day. we've had some pretty good bucks around this year, and quick looking through these pictures, it looks like they're still here. So hopefully that'll bode well. We got a lot of corn on our property this year, and it remains to be seen what'll happen, you know, when that corn comes down. But as of now, these deer are here, and hopefully they're going to stay here. So we'll see what they do. Well, if you notice, those pictures I scrolled through a minute ago, and then this camera that I'm looking through now, they're both on scrape sites, community type scrapes that stay open all year long. And that's one thing I've had really good success with over the last few years, is leaving cameras on those scrapes all year. As long as my cameras are out, I have cameras on these two particular community scrapes, and bucks and does will both hit those scrapes 12 months out of the year. Fresh them, you know, refresh them, use the licking branches, everything. So if you find those community scrapes, you'd be well served to get a camera over them pretty much the whole time you're running cameras. You know, scrapes pop up obviously during the rut and pre-rut, but you know those community scrapes when you find them. You've seen them. I'm sure you can think of a few that you have on the areas that you hunt. I'm telling you, if you put a camera over those, you'll be amazed to see how much action they actually get, you know, even in the spring. So like I said, these two cameras are both on community sites, community scrape sites rather, and they're both getting just hammered and have been all year with both bucks and does in the area. So I did notice this weekend when we were up north, scrapes are actually opening up. There's some areas that are commonly scraped, but I wouldn't consider them to be community scrapes that are worked all year. And there's now 4 or 5 scrapes that have opened up in the last week or two in areas that generally get scrapes, but they don't stay open all year. So the bucks are starting to open those scrapes back up just a little bit. You know, obviously, don't be confused. I'm not trying to say the rut's early or any of those crazy theories like that, but it's just that time of year. So I'm going to keep going through these pictures and videos and see what we can find and see if we can't start patterning these guys. We got a couple bucks that have broken out of their velvet and are hard horn now, which is always exciting, including the buck I call Louie, who's our #1 target buck. His buddy, his running mate, who I call Flat Top, hasn't broke velvet yet, but he's looking great as well. So we got a few. There's a 9 we call Ghost. He's out of velvet now too. So we got some options this year, some young, great looking young bucks that hopefully will make it through. And it's getting exciting. It's that time of year, so don't waste it. Get out, get your stuff done now, and get ready for October and November. Take care, guys. Good luck.